hier sehr schön. Man muss noch besser sehen, dass der Himmel ist. Morgen soll das Wetter ja noch schöner werden, als es heute ist. Für Ali nimmt. Und ich bin hier ganz leise in diesem gigantische Modell. Wo wir ganz, ganz tief verrückt und holt die Mutter auf einen Meter und jetzt möchte ich bei den lauten Applaus hören, dass ich auf der Modellflugveranstaltung gehört habe.
Real fast, so much so that he now flies the large-scale jets. That's right, the big boys. You see, when you know how to do this right, you can accelerate through the learning process. What takes most people months, or in my case, years, you can literally do in days. But you have to know the master steps how to do it. Now, I mentioned it took me 2 years to learn how to fly RC. Now, this is back in the 90s. I spent every weekend and days after school out on the field trying to learn to fly, and I couldn't get the hang of it. My problem was the same that most guys run into, and that is orientation. Plane would take off and be okay, but once it was coming at me, left was right and right was left, and I'd always turn the wrong way, I'd roll over and crash, and that would be it. I was down at the hobby shop so much, they gave me a job there. And it was finally getting under the tutelage of expert RC guys that they started to reveal to me the pro tips that they follow. That's when I started to learn to fly. We then started showing others how to build and design planes on our videos on YouTube. That built into the largest RC YouTube channel. We have a forum now with thousands of members. I've now devoted a large part of my life teaching and showing other people how to get into this RC hobby. So here are the 3 biggest mistakes everyone makes getting into RC. Number 1, they buy the wrong plane. What happens is they get suckered into a deal that's too good to be true. It has an amazing scale plane. Usually it's a jet. If they can get it together, they take it off, fly it, crash it, smash it, it's done. Can't repair it. Even if they could, the plane is too unstable to learn how to fly on. You gotta think like riding a bike. You gotta build that mind-muscle connection. You gotta think real pilots go through a lot of training to learn how to fly. These RC planes are trickier to learn to fly than real planes because of the orientation issue. Plus, they're much faster and much squirrelier than a full-size plane, so your reaction time needs to be much higher. So you need to have a plane that is built for that, that can take the crashes, is stable on the turns, and has its motor and electronics protected, so when you do crash, it can get up and fly again. And if it breaks, it needs to be field repairable. There's not a lot of planes that meet these specifications, so you got to make sure you have one of those. Number 2 is guys get the wrong parts. They'll usually cheap out on the radio controller, so the radio doesn't have a rudder, it doesn't have a throttle control.